Emboss Resist is a fun technique that uses heat embossing to produce your image. There are a couple different variations of this technique, but in this episode, I'm going to show you the basics. To begin, you're going to need a few supplies. You're going to need a Versamark pad. You're also going to need an anti-static pad and some clear embossing powder. Then you're going to need a couple colored ink pads, and I like to use sponge daubers to apply the ink. You'll also need a chunkier style stamp, some paper towels, and a heat gun. To begin, I'm going to rub the anti-static pad over my piece of cardstock, and I'm using white cardstock here because I want to produce a white image. Next, I'm going to use some Versamark and ink up my stamp using Versamark ink. Then I'll stamp my image, and I'm going to ink it up again and stamp another flower right next to it. Okay. Now I'm going to use some clear embossing powder, and I like to work over a sheet of paper, so this way when I'm done with the embossing powder I can just fold it in half and sprinkle it back into the jar. So now I've sprinkled embossing powder over my image, and I want to tap away all the excess. And then I'm just going to blow over it to make sure there isn't any little pieces of embossing powder that I can't see. And now I'm going to put my embossing powder back in. Put that away. Now, using a scratch piece of paper to work on, I'm going to first emboss my images, and you'll know when they're finished because the image will come up very shiny. Although it will be difficult to see this on camera, it's pretty easy to see in real life. Okay. Now just give that a minute to cool because you don't want to touch it right away. The embossing powder is still going to be a little bit wet. For my project, I'm choosing two inks by Memento. I'm choosing Angel Pink and Cantaloupe, and these nice puffy sponge daubers to apply it. All right, that should be pretty dry. Okay. So I'm going to rub this sponge dauber over my ink pad, just like that, and then I'm going to press the ink all over my image, and you can start to see the image emerge. Now I'm going to add some cantaloupe. And these sponge daubers are so nice. You can just rinse them out with water and they dry, and then they're ready to use for another color. And I'm just blending these colors together. Now you can see I've blended some Angel Pink in with the cantaloupe. And now I'm going to take that little piece of paper towel and I'm just going to rub all over. And as I rub, the ink will come off of those images and make the image pop even more. And that's how you do Emboss Resist. Now in my card sample, I've made a card here using the same image. And you can see that I move the images over just a little bit so that I could add a decorative corner up into the side. Try Emboss Resist using different colors of cardstock as your base color, or even some pattern papers to create new and exciting looks.